Excuse me. Aaron, there we are, the backroom gallery artist. Take it away, Aaron.
Take it away. All right, everybody. How many people are watching?
Well, so far we've got 9.
9. I think I may know who one of those 9 people is. Hello, Mother. I hope that you're tuning in here. So welcome. My name is Aaron Hankins. I am an artist, and I work under the pseudonym of MarsYardOvershoe. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I am currently residing in Portland, Oregon. So one of the first pieces as you walk into the gallery that I want you to look at is a group exhibition piece that I did with Tom Sachs and a group of Nike craftwear testers back in June of 2021. This piece was on display at Rockefeller Center in New York City for the month of June and July. And my work is really about showing the process and showing the rituals involved. I mean, opening night, I have to have a bottle of champagne, so I made sure to keep the foil and the cork. If you pan a little bit to the left, you'll see some of the works that I make in my studio. This one here being a commissioned lamp that I made. That's a cinder block, a hydration flask. There's a tower that's holding everything up underneath there. There we go. That's Eames inspired there. So all of these pieces are made out of plywood and steel. That's one of my preferred mediums. I work in a studio in Northeast Portland. A lot of my work is really heavily influenced by something called ISRU, which is in situ resource utilization. The next place that I want to show you to is this, and this is the receipt for my work. The apron that I wear in my studio, not only through the patches and the icons that I put on it, but each of the different details for the pockets and the functionality that I need. This also tells a story, you know, rest in peace Kobe Bryant, as always. I've also done this is a 1-year anniversary patch for one of my really good friends who lives in Sweden. We're in the middle of an endurance art piece together. I own a Vespa. We talk about ISRU. That's very important. So back down to the floor here, these are just some functional items that I've made. 2 of these are commission works that have already been sold. All of these holes are hand-drawn and hand-cut. All of the corners and edges have been filleted with thermal adhesive, serialized, obviously. The piece right above it there is, because all of my works are surrounded and have been done during the backdrop of the global pandemic, boxes from Amazon, boxes of paper towels, boxes of toilet paper, turn those into cinder blocks. This block in the corner here, that is a commissioned stool that I made for one of my friends. Each one of those holes is a pattern that has a story that is told by the owner. He asked me to do it that way. And if you pan out, this is the largest piece that I brought into the show. It is attack mode. Attack mode is the motto in which I move and execute through life. It comes from Kobe Bryant. It was something that Phil Jackson actually gave to Kobe and said, hey, Kobe is in attack mode. Some really nuanced points that I wanted to call out is that we hung this at 6'6", so this is hung at Kobe's height. Down here on the underneath attack mode are just more objects that I made. This is a phone lock. Tom Sachs taught us that you need to have output before input, so you put your phone in here backwards. And the only way that you can turn it off is by putting your finger through the hole there. All that's made out of foam core and thermal adhesive. This next piece that we're going to look at is a chess set. Alexander Calder, Pete Mondrian, Brancusi, every major artist, Tom Sachs, that at some point or another in their artistic career they make their own representation of a chessboard. My pieces and everything came from my studio, reused and repurposed. I think if you zoom out a little bit, I just want to call this out, the circular piece that goes around here. If we go this way and we look at the king's throne, and you see the same hole here, well, obviously this is a bigger hole, but if you come up here and you look through here, this circle here is the same one that's used on this piece here. The last one that I want to show you is just a doorstop made with found materials. This is sand from my backyard that I epoxy sealed on the inside. And if we go this way, the second largest piece that I brought for this show is the King's platform, the King's throne, the King's side table, and the King's crown. This piece is 4 feet long by 4 feet wide by 4 feet tall. So it fits inside of a 4x4 cuboid. Again, using plywood and steel as some of the main construction materials. It's built in the same style as Tom Sachs and Donald Judd, so there's minimalism. The flag on the top here, this is an icon from David Hankins. So if you look at it, half of the structure is white, the other half is black, and that sort of lends itself to who I am as a biracial black and white person. So some of the other pieces here, we've got a conceptual art piece that I made last year, and it's called 100 Cinder Blocks. And the concept here is that you take something and you count, and you take specific actions, and then all the sawdust, after I drilled out 100 holes, I filled each one of the holes and then sealed it with packing tape. We've got a milk crate here. This is the same blocks and cubes that I use in a lot of my work. Hand cut, hand sealed with epoxy. This is actually what I brought all of my equipment for the show in. If you look inside, I just want people to see the transparency, and these are some of the items that I brought with me to put this show in place. The last piece on this platform here is a dome template, and I did this as a part of a group education project between MIT and Tom Sachs, and we made geodesic domes using things around our house. So what I ended up using was just pieces of wire. So this is the A and the B, and you would basically bend each corner and then create these triangles, and then from these triangles create a dome. This piece here in the back is a dog bed that I made for my dog Izzy, using boxes and cardboard. One of the key things that I like to point out here is that it's made with Tyvek, and it's made with USPS envelopes that I turned into a dog bed and stuffed them with cardboard and more bubble wrap. The last item that I'd like to show everyone in my work here is it's a planet, and it was built under ISRU, which means the inside and the guts of it are filled with sand and nuts and bolts and screws and an old sweatshirt, and it's wrapped in duct tape. And as a part of my process art, if you come back and you look here, I've documented from the first image that I've taken of this medicine ball that I use, and this is the first 100 days of me documenting it. And then if you swing right back over to the work, we are on day 372. So just this Sunday was the last day that I performed an exercise on the medicine ball, and then I brought it to this space. When I bring this back to my space into my studio, the clock begins again, and it goes to 373, 374, 375. I'd like to have this probably at about 1,000 days, and then just somehow find a way to like freeze it in time. If you look on the side here, I've gone through. You do? Okay, right now. This is some of the old work, and this is how I used to keep track of the days before I went and created something a little bit more easier to keep track of. What it's sitting on top of, again, just more scraps. These are what the King's throne are made out of, more holes from this piece. This is a kitchen stool. You can sit on it to put your shoes on, or you can put stuff underneath. And then finally, this is just the name wall. Most exhibitions will just have the artist's name on it. My work, I want it to be transparent. I want people want it to be obvious when I'm working on it. I want it to be obvious who my references are. So you have my artist statement, you have quotes, you have the different artistic forms that I use. You have the inspiration. These are all the people that have guided me and helped me get to where I am. And then down here at the bottom is just my representation of a solid line drawing. So when you come into the space, you'll see on the floor here, you'll cross over the threshold and you'll come through, and I have the floor marked. Not only do I have the floor marked, but I've taken the liberty to take images during install day so that you can see what the process looked like and what it looked like when it first came here versus what it looks like now. You may observe on the floor as well, there's pencil shavings. All these pencil shavings are a part of the process. I use these pencil shavings to, you want to come up here and show them this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all the works just in pencil, and the dates, the serial numbers and the prices of all the works. I just used the pencil, used what I had. That's what ISRU is all about. And with that, I'll say thanks. We're at time. If you can come to Portland and you can come and see the show, please do. I have show flyers at the front desk that you can take as a memento. Otherwise, I'd love it if you could come and check everything out online. And I know that the artist in the front had plenty of dates of events that she's doing. Towards the end of the month, I'm going to try to find a point where I can come in and do a demonstration in this area. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aaron.